Hi, my name is Roma Agrawal and I'm a structural engineer. I worked as a structural engineer for the first 10 years of my career in a design office, designing multi-story buildings and bridges and apartment buildings and so on. I also worked as a design manager for a main contractor for a short while, and then later went into business development, procurement, and a bit of project management as well. So I've held a range of different jobs within the construction industry. Some of the challenges that I faced as an engineer, so first of all, my educational background was a bit unique. So I did a degree in physics rather than in engineering. So it took me a bit of time to get used to all the different British standards and Eurocodes and so on. But I really enjoyed being able to apply the physics and maths that I had learnt at university to an engineering career, and I did a master's in structural engineering as well. And five, that there were very few women on site for sure. In the office it didn't seem quite as bad, but it still wasn't great, so I could see that I was in a minority. And I definitely found that my confidence was affected, so I didn't always feel very empowered to speak in these huge meetings that I would go to and be the only woman there, the only person of colour there, the youngest person in the room. So it made me doubt my abilities. And I think later on in my career, I did find that as I was broadening out my skills and not just being a technical engineer, but also interested in how to communicate engineering better to our clients with architects and so on, that I was finding it trickier and trickier to find a role that would really suit me. So actually now for the last 6 years, I have been a full-time writer, speaker and broadcaster, and I speak about engineering with the hope of promoting engineering with young people, especially from lots of diverse background, including women. Construction is still a male-dominated industry for sure, and it is changing. I can see a change in the 20-odd years that I've been around. I actually think that there's a lot of work being done to encourage women into construction, and all of that needs to continue. I think it's important for young girls to see that they can do jobs in construction, that it isn't just about working on construction sites, that there's a whole range of different opportunities available, and that's the sort of thing that I'm really interested in writing books about and speaking about. But I also think what's really important is retaining women once they have joined the industry. There is me as an example, and then so many other women that I know that unfortunately sort of left their full-time jobs for a career break, if not permanently, in their mid to late 30s, which is that typical time when we're starting to get to that point in our careers where we want the next promotion. Those might not be really available to us. The ways of working might not be really suiting people with different needs, not just about women. And also the fact that, you know, flexible working and stuff has come in so much more would be a great thing for people, again, of all different needs and backgrounds. So I think trying to retain women is really important, and understanding that there's not just one way that you have to behave or be as a leader in the construction industry to do well, I think is a big cultural shift that needs to happen in order to retain the women. But the advice that I would give young women considering coming into the industry would be to definitely have a goal. There are lots of firms out there that do good work in trying to accommodate people from different backgrounds to thrive in their organizations. So try and make sure that you find one of them. And if you are finding that you are struggling a little bit in a particular place, then see if you can get some support and help from people in a different company, or get some advice from mentors, and see what you can do next in your career to keep you on the path. So some of the lessons that I've learned about careers in construction and engineering is that there is a huge amount of creativity required in the way you think, in the way you solve problems, and also that you need to do a lot of communication with different people that have different skills and knowledge to you. So we can't just be sitting there talking about complicated engineering or construction things with lots of jargon. We need to be able to explain ourselves to people who aren't from the same background as us, but nonetheless are still working to get, say, a building built, for example. So creativity and communication, those are the two things I think are super important. Technical skills, of course, it has to be some kind of baseline, but these skills are not something that might immediately come to mind when you're thinking about a career in construction. The Lighthouse charity provides 24/7 holistic support to members of the construction industries in UK and Ireland. If you or anybody you know is struggling, please do reach out to them through their website or phone numbers. The information is below.